Greetings, dear viewers, and welcome back for another installment of Twilight Abridged. The chapter begins with Charlie greeting Billy and Jacob, who apparently came by to watch a game because their TV broke or something like that. And Bella, being the good little housewife she's supposed to be, asked if they wanted something to eat. And remember all those times when she complained about how she wasn't allowed to call her dad by his first name? She does it here, and without any repercussions. Then Bella and Jacob engage in some idle banter, which of course turns to Edward. And when the food was ready, they joined Billy and Charlie in the front room. And while Jacob tried to talk with Bella some more, the bitch ignored him, because she was trying to listen to Billy and Charlie's conversation for anything that pertained to Edward. After Billy and Jacob left, Charlie once again asked about the dance, because he was probably concerned that she wasn't fitting in, and she wasn't because of her own intentions. Then, next morning, Edward picked her up for school again, and inquired about everyone she'd ever known. Yeah. Then he said that he had to leave after lunch, but her truck would be ready and waiting, and like the moronic little bitch she is, she doesn't ask him how he would get the key, and she doesn't tell him, but the key was inside her house under a pile of laundry or something like that. He tried to convince her to be afraid of him and cancel the trip, but to no avail. They talked a bit about how Alice was the most supportive of him, and the others questioned why he didn't just leave her alone, which is what anyone with a working brain would be wanting to know, considering how often he tells her that he's so dangerous for her. Then Rosalie glared at Bella, but Edward played it off as concern. Then Alice came by, and Edward introduced Bella to her, and then they left, and Bella went with class. Then Mike asked Bella about her plans for the weekend, and she lied her way through the entire conversation. And as promised, Bella's truck was ready and waiting, and despite that a key was inside her house and hidden under the pile of laundry like I'd said before, it was in the ignition now. Seems like Edward doesn't have a problem with anyone's privacy or breaking the law so blatantly, but Bella never questions it. Then when she got home, she called Jessica and lied about the weekend, and at dinner she lied to her own father about her plans, even though his continuing to think she'd be in Seattle wouldn't get in her way at all. And even though he had known of her plans to go to Seattle, she felt guilty over lying to him so needlessly, but only when considering that Edward had told her to tell him of their different plans. Wait, what? So he felt guilty about telling her dad that they weren't going to Seattle, but not telling him that she was going to do something else? If she was just going to lie about her plans anyway, she might as well just let him think he was going to Seattle. What's the point of dragging this out? It's because this chapter is nothing but filler! And she even admits that her life has come to revolve around Edward solely, which she doesn't even think is a problem. She thinks it's a good thing. She's a crazy bitch. And to seem edgy, Meyer has her self-insertion take a few cold pills to help her sleep, because it's oh so rebellious to have a NyQuil to help you sleep at night. Edward met her the following morning and let her drive as promised, but instead of letting her drive the Volvo, they took her gas guzzler truck. And instead of going to Seattle, he gave her directions to the middle of nowhere, and he was pissy that she hadn't told anyone about the actual plans. Filler. Filler. Having always been obsessed with his appearance, she stifled a gasp at seeing him in a sleeveless shirt. And we get more purple prose to drill it into your head that he's oh so gorgeous. And they made their way into the woods. They arrive at a rather gaudy-sounding meadow, as the purple prose that was normally reserved for Edward was in full swing here, and Edward remained at the edge of the clearing while Bella went and wandered around, and then when she looked to him, Meyer was now about to let us know why the Cullens didn't show up for school on sunny days. As he stepped into the sunlight, the chapter ends, like an episode of Dragon Ball Z. Thank you for joining me for another installment of Twilight Abridged, brought to you by the good people at TwilightSucks.com. Twilight sucks because repeating a description over and over and over isn't just repetitive, it's irritating.